there's a lot of similarities with Germany and Australia right now, Dave.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the whole thing with like, oh, show me your babers. Ich habe eine Bratwurst.
Show me your papers.
Yeah, it's happening in Australia right now, and basically they're pretty much, hey guys, show us your papers, or we're gonna fire you from your job, or we're gonna fine you a shit ton of money. And now there's just protests in the streets of Sydney.
Oh yeah. Well, here, the first one is they got some teenage boys being arrested because they were hanging out at the beach watching the sunset.
Little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders. Even this group of teenagers caught partying after dark at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs. Herded to higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker, the 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine to mum.
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without a reasonable excuse.
Wow, without a reasonable excuse.
Show me your papers.
Being outside without a reasonable excuse.
Hello, comrade. Yeah, so, there's going to be a lot of consequences for this, for, all these civilizations, especially for right now with the young people. You're limiting their, basically, their experiences, like, attaining mates and interacting with the opposite sexes.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very, very detrimental to your societies. When your baby rates, just fertility rates, all that shit just plummets. It's already plummeting right now. Then you're gonna have this shit.
Let me pull this up real quick because it's there we go. The shadow mental health pandemic spreading among Victorian children, and this doctor is talking about they've gotten a lot of more calls. I'm sure it's happening here too, and happening in other Western style countries. They've got more calls with kids who are fucking depressed and they want to kill themselves. And it's because of the lockdowns. Oh, here you go. Warning: this story may be distressing for some readers. I find this kind of funny because I get this shit sometimes on YouTube videos. It's like, it ain't distressing to me because I don't give a shit. But Dr. Stacey Harris understands the strain lockdown has on Victorians of all ages, but she is witnessing firsthand a collective mental breakdown amongst children due to the almost perpetual state of lockdown in Victoria. Okay. And this is on Australia, right? And she goes, it is close to 4 out of 5 young patients coming in because of mental health problems from ages 10 through 18. 10-year-olds should not have problems. 18-year-olds I can completely fucking understand. Yeah. Because, from the time you're like 15 to
life's
18,
getting more complicated.
Well, and your hormones are running. All you want to do is get laid. But 10-year-olds? 10-years. I mean, I can't even, to be honest with you, Kyle, I can't understand. I don't understand any of this shit that's going on here because, at 15, 16, 17, me and my friends, our biggest concern is who are we getting to buy our beer and where the fuck are we partying? This is insane. And she goes on to say these kids are crying out for help, and all we're doing is band-aiding and giving them antidepressants. Yep. There you go.
Yep.
What do you got to say about that, Kyle?
Well, I got a few things to say. You were saying, when you were younger, the things you did with your friends, you went out, you partied, you bought beer underage. That is becoming less and less frequent here in the States. And there's a reason, Dave, because the punishment for petty little bullshit like that is so heavy on your record. You can't fucking get a job when you're older. It limits your education choices into college. Oh my God, you've been arrested. What'd you do? I had beer when I was younger. So I mean, kids aren't stupid. They know. They're like, fuck, man, like I can't do that. So that's one thing, right? So that's one aspect. Another aspect with this SSRI bullshit. So SSRIs are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That's like the most common antidepressant.
Is that the way you call it, antidepressants?
Yeah, docs.
Wow, PhD.
Well, no. So yeah. So that's one category of antidepressants, but it's arguably the most popular. And there's a lot of issues with SSRIs. They're not safe medications. The doctors prescribe them like they're safe because that's all they can do, because there aren't enough psychiatrists send your patients to. Dave, if you went to your primary care doc right now, number one, if you had a primary care doc and you went to him and said, hey, I think I want to talk to a psychiatrist, I'm depressed, blah, 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 blah. They'd say, hey, I mean, I can send you one. They're probably not accepting new patients, so you're probably going to see them in about 6 months to a year. You okay with that? Yeah, I guess I can just feel like shit for the whole time. So what they do, and you can't blame the docs because they're just trying to be helpful. So they give you the pill, and this is what the SSRIs do, Dave.
Well,
no. Listen. Yeah, they make you feel nothing. Now, when you're feeling you just absolutely awful and depressed, what you feel is nothing. So on one hand, you don't feel bad, but guess what? You don't feel good. Like on birthdays, anniversaries, you get a raise at work, you don't feel anything. It's weird. Like you literally feel nothing. You literally you wake up, okay, like let's do this. Somebody flips you off in traffic. Oh, okay. Kyle, here's $1,000. Okay.
When I was 15, 16, like I said, we were more concerned about where we're going to party and who's going to buy our beer. It really was never ending because there's some things I probably should have been arrested for, but never got arrested for. Never got in trouble. I never got in trouble with the police. Mm-hmm. And none of my friends ever got in trouble with the police. And that was the weird thing. Now, kids are always getting in trouble, like we just saw in that video. They're getting in trouble for what? Going out and sitting on the fucking beach?
Trying to be kids,
you know, and we had our issues in our teenage years, our 15, 16, 17, 18. We had our issues, but they are nothing like what they are today. Mm-hmm. It's like it's been magnified, and I don't get it. I don't understand what these kids go through because I can't understand it because we were out to have a good time. Mm-hmm. We were being kids. It was the natural progression. We were 10 years old. We listened to what our parents say. Then we hit about 12.
Then you rebel.
And everything. We want to start, rebelling against whatever it is that we're rebelling against, which mainly our parents. The depression in kids that are 10 years old. Mm-hmm. What the fuck does a 10-year-old have to be depressed about? He's got nothing to be depressed about. What? He lost a Lego piece? What the fuck, man?
But what these kids are feeling is real, and that's the problem. Because it's real to them. I mean, it seems, so just obscure and so little to us, right? But what they feel is real.
And it shouldn't be.
Correct.
It shouldn't be real. That's the thing. They should be able to be kids and have, party and have a great time and do what it is they want to do. If a kid wants to, if my kid could figure out how to get a case of beer, then fine.
Mm-hmm. Dave, if I go to Australia, are they going to lock me up because I'm like my dad?
They are absolutely going to, because you know why? They're locking up construction workers. This is really fucked up because these are just people trying to make a fucking living, man. Let people make a living. I'll tell you what, if a government doesn't want to let people make a living, then pay them their full fucking salary.
Yep, I agree.
And give them, their full salary. Yep. If you want to do this, then do this. But this is all from the same, we kind of went off on a tangent there, but this is all from the same newscast. And Australia is looking pretty fucking stupid right now.
Harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing, especially in the construction industry. A crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done. Like, nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling.
It's wrong, yet you still do it.
It's in Marsden Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Under the Public Health Act.
Inspectors
what a bunch of wankers.
The Public Health Act.
What a bunch of wankers.
Check-in as well as identification and vaccination records. One of the men here is from Campsie and he doesn't have his documentation.
He doesn't have his papers!
And he promptly told us
Give me your papers! I need your papers! I need your papers now!
We tried to interview the nice construction workers, but they rudely told us to fuck off.
It's funny. They got to be careful in Australia because they're pretty much all ancestors of criminals.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love that.
It's a tough place to live.
He didn't have the proper papers. Keep in mind, Kyle, this is coming to us.
Yes,
This is coming to us because I can tell you this right now. This is coming to us. The only good thing we have here is all of our states sort of have some autonomy with what they can do. Mm-hmm. So you have a choice. You can live in a blue state, you can live in a red state, or or you can live in a purple state. Purple state is kind of where we're at right now.
I
We're
don't
in a
like-
purple state.
yeah, I don't like it at all.
You know, it depends on where you drive. It's like,
tranny state.
You drive out where your parents live. Everybody's shooting fucking guns, and it's
called heaven.
Yeah, and you go to Atlanta, and it's like, okay,
called hell.
I got to put my mask back on, and
Let me put on my let me put on
You know,
my bug out gear.
I got people asking me, have you been vaccinated? And I almost said to somebody the other day, I said, have you ever had a yeast infection?